Shalom and welcome back to Israel with Aline. Today we are in Shiloh, the first capital of the 12 tribes of Israel and the place where the tabernacle stood. Today we are going to explore together archaeological excavations that found the location of the Ark of the Covenant. An extremely important discovery, but still very unknown. So, if you are ready, let's get started. But how is it possible that the location of the Ark of the Covenant was found and no one is talking about it? Few people know because these are recent archaeological excavations. As you can see, some of them are happening right now. Some small archaeological excavations were done in the past, but most of the excavations at Shiloh started in 2006. Yes, just recently in 2006, so we are seeing a lot of things here today for the first time. But shall we start the story of Shiloh and the Tabernacle from the beginning? The story begins far from here, at the foot of Mount Sinai. God commands them to build a tabernacle, which is a kind of portable temple, and he explains everything in the smallest details, from the building materials, its size, to the utensils that would be inside. And the most important utensil, without a doubt, was the Ark of the Covenant. And they shall make me a sanctuary, and I will dwell among them, according to all that I show you, the pattern of the tabernacle, and the pattern of all its furnishings, so you shall make it. They shall also make an ark of acacia wood, and cover it with pure gold. Inside and out you shall cover it, and you shall make a crown of gold around it. And this tabernacle travels in the desert with the people of Israel for 40 years, until finally Joshua brings the people into the promised land, here in the land of Israel, and they bring the tabernacle to the city of Shiloh, and here it will remain for more than 300 years. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel gathered in Shiloh, and there they set up the tent of meeting after the land was subdued before them. And when we arrive, everyone, right here at the entrance, we see the 12 tribes of Israel, for example, Zebulun, and we will understand what the connection of this place is with the 12 tribes. Let's go. Since the tabernacle was here, Shiloh was the capital of the 12 tribes of Israel. And this is also where the territory was divided among the tribes that still didn't have land as their inheritance. And here they divide the lands. Only the tribe of Levi does not receive a territory like the others. Instead, they receive cities scattered within the territories of the other tribes, since they receive the priesthood of God as their inheritance. What is this place that we're entering? These are the remains of a Byzantine church, a church that's over 1500 years old. This shows not only the connection of the people of Israel, but also of the Christians with the ancient city of Shiloh. And now, look at this floor I'm walking on. Look how beautiful it is. This is one of 3 churches found here in Shiloh. Guys, don't mind that I keep saying Shiloh all the time, because that's the pronunciation in Hebrew. In Portuguese, in your Bible, you will see the name of the city as Shiloh. So this beautiful floor is original, but the rest of the building you see was rebuilt. It was made to look like the Byzantine church, but what is the great interest of Christians in this place? First, because of all the Old Testament Bible stories that happened here. like the story of Eli, Hannah, the story of the Tabernacle and the Ark of the Covenant, but also because of this Bible passage from Genesis 49:10, which also associates Shiloh with the coming of the Messiah. The scepter will not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from his descendants, until he comes to whom it belongs, and the nations will obey him. He will tie his donkey to a vine, and his colt to the choicest branch. He will wash his clothes in wine, his garments in the blood of grapes. This is a very mysterious Messianic passage. What do you think it really means? Here we see more archaeological excavations, and here a 4th century church was found. I mean, it's over 1600 years old, but the most important thing is that in its mosaic, an inscription was found, and in that inscription, the name of the city is included, the city of Shiloh. So thanks to this and several other archaeological findings here, we know that we are really in Tel Shiloh, in the biblical city of Shiloh, and many archaeological excavations have been happening here in recent years. You can see that there are people right now working on preserving this beautiful mosaic, but we're going to keep going because we still want to get to the place of the Ark of the Covenant. Let's go. Not long ago, Pesach took place, the Jewish Passover, which is also known as Chag Aviv, the festival of spring. You can see that Israel has started to become green and full of flowers. And as I was passing by, I saw this tree here. And it already has fruit I want to show you. And I want you to guess what fruit this is. Let me show you up close. Does anyone know what this is? You've definitely eaten this before, but maybe never like this. This is an almond fruit. And inside here is the almond seed. But when we eat it in Brazil, we usually eat it after it's been shelled and roasted. But here, we also eat it green. So this way, you can eat a whole almond. It's a good snack for our trip, so let's keep going. Look what we found here. This is a Jewish ritual bath. It's where Jews purified themselves. It's called a mikveh. And why is this so important? Because we are close to the tabernacle. We know that people purified themselves before going to it. This is further proof that we are really getting to the place where the Ark of the Covenant was kept. And I think it's really cool that it's still full of water to this day. We're in the rainy season and it filled up naturally. But I'm not going to get into that water. I'm going over there just like this. Right back here, according to archaeological research, was the location of the tabernacle, and all the people of Israel, the 12 tribes, would come up here to celebrate 3 times a year, Sukkot, Shavuot, and Pesach, the Jewish Pentecost, the Feast of Tabernacles, and the Jewish Passover. Thousands of people would gather here and bring their sacrifices. So imagine, they would bring the animal would be sacrificed, and part of the meat they would take to eat. And where could they eat this meat, this sacrifice? Anywhere you could see the tabernacle. So where we are now, and all these hills around, used to be filled with thousands of people eating the sacrifices from the biblical festivals. Now there's an important point. The plate where the sacrifice was eaten couldn't be used for anything else. You can't use a plate that had a sacrifice for God and then take it home and use it in your daily life. So all these dishes used during the festivals had to be broken. So it must have been an interesting scene to arrive here 3,000 years ago and see thousands of people every day, breaking plates and dishes here and then leaving. That's why anywhere we stop here and look at the ground, what are we going to find? Ceramics. Guys, I stopped here in a random place, but look at this. This is ceramics. Look at how much there is around me. There's a chance that some of these pieces of ceramics I'm touching were utensils used to eat the sacrifices from the Temple of Jerusalem more than 3,000 years ago. And that's why, once again, we know this is the location of the tabernacle because of the amount of archaeological ceramic remains here. I have a friend who lives on the hill back here, and she came to this place before the archaeological excavations had even started. And she literally started picking up ceramic fragments to take to an archaeologist to see what they were. She took, guys, pillowcases from her house, literally pillowcases, and started filling them with archaeological remains. That's how much there is here. And really, we're touching the history of the tabernacle, the history of the people of Israel and its 12 tribes. Guys, I'm now literally entering the place where the tabernacle used to be. Such an important place biblically. It's really exciting to be here walking on these stones. People from the people of Israel came here to pray so many times. But I think no prayer is as important here as the prayer of Hannah. And I also have a special connection. You know that I had a child not long ago. Hannah, she was barren, and for a very, very long time she wanted to have a child and she couldn't. And one day she decided to come here to the tabernacle with her family. And she comes here and she really prays with all her soul and all her heart. And she prays with so much emotion that she draws the attention of Eli, the high priest. And he tells her that her prayer will be answered, and now she goes back home happy, knowing that she will have a son. But it's not that simple. Why? Because in her prayer, she said that she wanted to have a son for herself. But if God gave her a son, she would share her son with God. What does that mean? It means that she wanted to give birth to this son, nurse him, and then give him to God, in this case, to the tabernacle. After so long praying to have a child of her own, she will finally have a son, but she won't raise him herself. She will give her son to the tabernacle. And the son she calls Samuel, in Hebrew Shmuel, will grow up here, grow up with Eli and Eli's biological sons. And thanks to Anna and Eli, Samuel becomes one of the greatest prophets the people of Israel have ever seen. So, this area where we are walking was the courtyard of the tabernacle, and somewhere around here was the altar. And inside here grew Eli's sons and also Samuel, Eli's sons, who unfortunately will become corrupted. And the end of the days of the tabernacle will be a very sad and very hard time. First, because of the corruption that Eli's sons will bring. Also during this time, there were great battles between the people of Israel and the Philistines, and the people of Israel began to lose the battles. And then they have a brilliant idea, or maybe not, to take the Ark of the Covenant, which was kept here in the tabernacle, and bring it to the camps of the people of Israel. And really, when it gets there, the soldiers' morale goes up. They see the Ark of the Covenant is here with us. We're definitely going to win the battle, but they don't win. On the contrary, the Philistines win the Battle of Ebenezer, destroy the camp of Israel, and steal the Ark of the Covenant. And the Ark of the Covenant will be taken away and will never return to Shiloh. The Philistines take the ark from one Philistine city to another, but God sends a plague of hemorrhoids as punishment to those cities. However, the hand of the Lord was heavy upon the people of Ashdod, and he devastated them and struck them with hemorrhoids in Ashdod and its surrounding areas. And they sent and gathered all the rulers of the Philistines and said, "Send away the ark of the God of Israel and let it return to its place so that it does not kill us or our people." For there was deadly panic throughout the city, and the hand of God was very heavy there. The men who did not die were afflicted with hemorrhoids, so the outcry of the city went up to heaven. And so the Philistines returned the ark, which went to Beit Shemesh, then to Kiriath Jearim, and finally ended up in Jerusalem in Solomon's temple. And the tabernacle that was here was also destroyed sometime later. And that's why what we see here today are just the remains. We can see by the size 50 cubits, just as the Bible describes to us. But the most important part of the tabernacle is right here. Let's learn a little more. So even though I'm telling you such hard stories about the tabernacle, I'm still very happy to be here. Because here, where you see these archaeological excavations, was the place of the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark that held the tablets of the law inside it. So the most important place in the world for the people of Israel was here. Exactly this place, because the Ark was here. And from here, from the place of the Ark of the Covenant, God spoke to the people of Israel. And there I will meet with you and speak with you from above the mercy seat, from between the two cherubim that are on the ark of the testimony, everything I command you for the children of Israel. Where is the ark today? That's another discussion, and there are several theories, but we don't have archaeological evidence of where the ark is today. However, we do know that it stayed here for several centuries. So on this plateau was the tabernacle, here was the Ark of the Covenant, and on the ground we literally have thousands of pieces of pottery where people ate the offerings, the sacrifices that were brought to the Temple of Jerusalem. Undeniable archaeological remains of the history of the people of Israel here. And I want to thank everyone who watched. I want you all to comment if you had already heard that the location of the Ark of the Covenant and the tabernacle was found. I invite everyone to subscribe. Kisses, and I'll see you next time.